As we gathered in the main chamber of the Thetis underwater facility, I couldn't help but marvel at the sleek, state-of-the-art design of the habitat that would serve as our base for the archaeological exploration of the legendary Antikythera shipwreck. The modular aquatic station was a technological wonder, designed as a saturation diving system that maintained a constant internal pressure equivalent to the surrounding water pressure. This innovative setup allowed divers to live and work at depth for extended periods, without the need for repeated decompression, maximizing their efficiency and minimizing the risk of complications. The main chamber itself was a testament to the cutting-edge technology that permeated every aspect of the facility. The spacious circular room was lined with advanced life support systems, sophisticated communication equipment, and an impressive array of scientific instruments that would make any researcher green with envy. But it was the centerpiece of the room that truly took my breath away. A large, circular viewport that offered a stunning panorama of the vibrant marine environment just outside. Through the thick safety glass, I watched in awe as schools of colorful fish darted gracefully among the swaying seagrass, their scales glinting in the filtered sunlight. The distant silhouettes of larger creatures, perhaps a pod of striped dolphins or a curious sea turtle, occasionally glided across our field of vision, adding to the sense of mystery and wonder that permeated the underwater world. As Bastian, Regina, and I settled into our seats, Alcipe began to recount the history of the wreck we had come to investigate.
In 1900, sponge divers discovered the remains of an ancient Greek ship off the coast of Antikythera. We've recently mapped the wreck in 3D, pinpointing each finding throughout the years.
With a flick of her wrist, Alcipe activated a holographic display that filled the seabed with a breathtaking visualization of the wreck site. A laser beam matrix projected against the seafloor, and ghostly neon images of each archaeological find emerged from the depths, hovering in the water like echoes of a distant past. My eyes were immediately drawn to a scattered pile of statues depicting men and horses, their forms strewn among the boulders on the seabed. These were the remains of an ancient cargo, a treasure trove of luxury works of art and technology from the Aegean region. The holographic animation shifted, and the statues transformed from their current state of discovery to a full reconstruction of their original appearance, allowing us to see them as they would have looked in their heyday. As I explored the holographic landscape further, I spotted an array of other artifacts: delicate jewelry, amphorae, coins, glass bowls, and lamps, all meticulously cataloged and displayed in stunning detail. Among these relics were the remains of 4 individuals, including a young woman. The animation showed her adorned in the jewelry found nearby, a poignant reminder of the human stories that lay hidden beneath the waves. Suddenly, a giant boat materialized in neon pink, its spectral form rising from the seabed. The vessel's rich cargo was protected by bags of grain, and there, perched atop the deck, was the holographic figure of the young woman, her hair flowing in an unseen breeze. Who was she? I asked, my eyes transfixed on the ghostly image of a woman born 2 millennia ago, her story now intertwined with the mystery of the Antikythera wreck. Alcipe smiled enigmatically, in her eyes the promise of an insight.
That, Amalia, is just one of the many secrets this wreck holds. And with the help of the Thetis facility and our cutting-edge technology, we're going to unravel them all, one by one.
As the holographic animation of the Antikythera wreck played out before us, Alcipe's voice took on a somber tone, her words heavy with the weight of history.
At around the time of the wreck, within a period of 50 years, paganism and science both began to die at the feet of the great Roman dictators, a setback that took millennia to recover from,
she said, her eyes fixed on the spectral vessel.
The Sibylline books and the Library of Alexandria both burned, casualties of Roman civil wars, and between these 2 events, the gift of the mother ended up here, at the bottom of the sea where the Mediterranean and the Aegean bicker like passionate lovers.
I leaned forward, my curiosity piqued by the tantalizing hints of a story left untold. Who? How did this happen? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. As if in response to my question, the holographic animation outside the viewport shifted, the scene changing to one of chaos and destruction. The ghostly vessel was now caught in the throes of a violent storm, its sails straining against the howling winds as towering waves crashed against its hull. But the fury of nature was not the only threat the ship faced. On the horizon, the silhouettes of pirate vessels loomed, their sails billowing like the wings of carrion birds. Fire erupted on the deck of the Antikythera ship, the flames consuming the vessel with a ravenous hunger. The woman we had seen earlier, her holographic form now flickering and distorted, fought desperately against the deadly waves, her struggle for survival playing out in heart-wrenching detail. Bastian let out a low whistle, his eyes wide with a mix of awe and horror.
They didn't stand a chance.
Alcipe nodded grimly, her gaze never leaving the unfolding tragedy.
In 66 BC, Roman Creticus subjugated Crete, setting up his capital on the slopes of Mount Ida near ancient Phaistos. We believe Creticus attempted to take the gift and its keepers as spoils to Rome, and that either the sea, the goddess, or pirates destroyed his plans.
Regina leaned forward, her expression intense, her eyes locked on Alcipe as if trying to read the secrets hidden behind her enigmatic gaze.
So the gift, the knowledge, it was all lost?
Alcipe turned to face us, her posture straight and proud, her eyes blazing with a fierce determination that seemed to radiate from every fiber of her being.
Lost, until now. The secrets of the Antikythera wreck, the legacy of the Minoans, the true power of the gift. It's all been recently rediscovered and understood.
As if on cue, the holographic display shifted once more, the ghostly seabed transforming before our eyes. From the depths, an ancient device emerged, its form rendered in shimmering neon blue. It was a sight that took my breath away, a complex array of gears, dials, and inscriptions, all perfectly reconstructed in stunning detail. Alcipe reached beneath the table and retrieved a physical model of the device, placing it before us with reverent care. I leaned in closer, my eyes widening as I took in the intricate workings of the ancient machine.
The Antikythera mechanism, used to predict the positions of the sun, moon, and the planets, as well as lunar and solar eclipses. An innovation so ahead of its time, it would take 1,500 years for a mechanism of similar complexity to be invented.
I couldn't help but reach out, my fingers hovering just above the surface of the model, almost afraid to touch it, lest it crumble to dust before my eyes. The craftsmanship was exquisite, the attention to detail staggering. Each dial, each inscription, spoke of a level of technological sophistication that seemed almost impossible for the time. We leaned forward, hanging on Alcipe's every word as she painted a vivid picture of the shipwreck and the mysteries that still surrounded it. Bastian and Regina were entranced, their eyes wide with wonder, their minds undoubtedly racing with the implications of this incredible discovery. But even as I marveled at the beauty and complexity of the Antikythera mechanism, the investigative journalist in me couldn't help but question the narrative Alcipe was weaving. The neon boat, the woman, the weak connections she was drawing between disparate pieces of evidence, it all seemed too neat, too convenient. If such groundbreaking discoveries had indeed been made, surely the world would have known about them by now. The academic community would be buzzing with excitement. The media would be clamoring for interviews and exclusives. But instead, we were here, in a secret underwater facility, being shown a story that seemed more fiction than fact. I leaned back in my seat, my eyes narrowing as I studied Alcipe's face. This is all very impressive, but I can't help but wonder, where's the proof? The hard evidence that backs up these claims about the Minoans, about the origins and the date of this device? Alcipe met my gaze unflinchingly, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Her eyes sparkled with the confidence of someone who held all the cards, who knew the truth that others could only guess at.
A fair question, Amalia,
she said, her tone almost approving, as if she had been waiting for someone to finally ask the right questions. She pointed at the clock face of the mechanism, her finger tracing the intricate engravings that marked the passage of celestial bodies.
See this dial? Scientists recently figured out the exact date of the full moon of the first month tracked by the device.
Bastian leaned in, his eyes wide with anticipation, his breath catching in his throat.
Yes?
He asked, the single word heavy with unspoken questions.
12 of May, 205 BCE.
Alcipe said, her smile widening, her face aglow with the satisfaction of a long-held secret finally revealed.
And that's not all. Other academics figured out that the astronomical events on the Antikythera mechanism work best for latitudes in the range of 33.3 to 37 degrees north. Guess where Crete is located?
Wow.
Bastian conceded, his tone a cocktail of awe and disbelief. He leaned back in his seat, his mind undoubtedly racing with the implications of this revelation.
But there's more.
Alcipe picked up what looked like a cast of a mold. Engraved in it was the figure of the poppy goddess and a sun-like disc with rectangular spokes and a serrated edge.
This is a Minoan manufacturing casting mold for a sundial, a device to establish the geographical latitude and for predicting solar and lunar eclipses. It's still accurate today, and it precedes the Antikythera mechanism by 1,400 years.
There it was, the poppy goddess, and a wheel just like the wheels inside the mechanism. My mind was spinning with the implications, and still, I wanted more. As an investigative journalist, I needed something tangible, connecting the Antikythera mechanism to the Minoans. I needed a smoking gun, a piece of evidence that would leave no room for doubt. But I didn't have to wait long. Out there on the seabed, a small circular artifact lit up, depicted as it was found. At first, I couldn't make sense of it, my eyes straining to discern its shape through the holographic haze. The discovery date above it flashed 2017, a tantalizing clue to the significance of this find. I kept my gaze locked on the artifact, waiting with bated breath for it to transform, for the secrets of the past to be laid bare before us. And as it did, my heart raced so fast I wasn't sure if it was still within my chest. A bronze medal depicting the Minoan bull emerged from the depths, its surface gleaming with the patina of ages. It was a work of art, a testament to the skill and craftsmanship of the ancient world. And as the hologram shifted, the medal moved to adorn the box of the Antikythera mechanism itself, a perfect fit, as if it had always been meant to be there. But it was the figure beside the mechanism that truly took my breath away. The ghostly neon life force of a distant past, the woman we had seen before, now stood before me in all her glory. Her bare breasts were proudly displayed, snakes coiled around her wrists in a symbol of power and wisdom. In her hands she held sheaves of wheat and poppy capsules, the emblems of a civilization that had flourished in harmony with the earth. I blinked, half convinced that I was hallucinating, that the woman before me was nothing more than a figment of my overactive imagination. And as I did, she was gone, but she would never be forgotten. A bronze medal, recovered from this very wreck in 2017, had connected the most advanced mechanism in ancient history with a peaceful civilization where women's voices had shaped the destiny of the earth. It was a revelation that shook me to my core, a truth so profound and powerful that it threatened to unravel the very fabric of my understanding. As I sat there staring at the medal, my heart raced with a fierce determination. I knew, with a certainty that burned like a fire in my veins, that I would stop at nothing to uncover the full truth of its story, to bring the secrets of this ancient civilization to light, no matter the cost.
So they know.
Regina spoke, her voice trembling with bitter resentment that seemed to emanate from the very depths of her being.
They all know the truth. Academia, government, and the secret far-right forces that have been pursuing us for generations.
Alcipe nodded, her gaze heavy with the weight of centuries.
Some do. The marine archaeologists that discovered the bull were never allowed to return to the wreck, their profiles and contributions deleted from official sites. The project was taken over by a far-right nationalist mogul.
She paused, her eyes flickering to the holographic display of the expeditions.
But others are just incapable of seeing the truth, of accepting the reality of women's power. It's too threatening for them to concede, even to themselves.
A heavy silence fell over the room, the weight of Alcipe's words settling like a physical presence. And then, slowly, deliberately, she turned to face Bastian, her gaze locked on his with an intensity that made my breath catch in my throat.
Which leads me to you,
She said, her voice low and dangerous, a hidden threat lurking just beneath the surface.
We've let you come this far. In fact, we invited you to join us because in your veins runs the blood of the Eumolpidi family, the Hierophantes, male high priests of the mysteries, walking the path first set by Triptolemus.
Bastian's eyes widened, his face a mask of shock and confusion.
What the heck are you talking about?
Regina spoke then, her gaze fixed on some distant point, carefully avoiding Bastian's eyes.
But blood alone does not make a man, and we won't allow you to walk beside us in this initiation until you prove your spiritual connection to the mysteries.
And suddenly, everything clicked into place. The pieces of the puzzle that had been nagging at the back of my mind finally fell into alignment, revealing a picture that sent a chill down my spine. Initiation? Is this why Calypso's crew have refused us food for half a day? Are we fasting? I glanced at Bastian, expecting to see the same outrage and confusion that I felt. But to my surprise, he stood peacefully, observing the unfolding drama as if it had nothing to do with him. A flicker of doubt, of suspicion, began to gnaw at the edges of my mind. I turned to Alcipa, my voice rising with a sudden, fierce protectiveness. "Are you mad?" I shouted, my words echoing off the walls of the chamber. "Bastian has nothing to prove to you or anyone else." Regina's gaze finally met mine, her eyes filled with a sad, knowing sympathy.
Amalia, the chasm between what you say and what you think and what you truly feel, we all see it. You, more than anyone else, seek to know his true allegiance.
I felt my cheeks burn with a sudden, unexpected flush of shame. "That's not true," I said. But even as the words left my lips, I could hear the hollowness in my own voice. Just because we have different perspectives doesn't mean he needs to prove anything to me. Bastian turned to me then, his gaze searching, probing, as if trying to read the secrets written in the depths of my soul. For a long, tense moment, our eyes locked, a silent conversation passing between us, a battle of wills and emotions that threatened to consume us both. And then abruptly he turned away, his attention fixed once more on Alcipe.
What is it?
He asked, his voice low and steady, a challenge and a surrender all at once.
What do you want me to do?
The room fell silent, the air heavy with anticipation. And as I waited for Alcipe's answer, my heart pounding in my chest, I knew that whatever came next would change everything. Not just for Bastian, but for all of us.